Cricket 2004 is a game ahead of its time. Batting mechanics here are better than Cricket 2007. The game is so realistic not only in the way it looks but also gameplay mechanics. You can cover drive a ball and find gaps even if there are 5 fielders on the offside. Animations themselves are beautiful, realistic and accurate to real life. Take the flick shot. I don't think any cricket game has a better looking flick shot than Cricket 2004. Even graphics wise, it is a beautiful game. I mean, it definitely doesn't look like it was released 18 years ago. Bowling is boring though. That's the biggest weakness. If bowling was as good as batting, this would have been as good as any cricket game ever. Cricket 2005 looks like Cricket 2007, plays like Cricket 2007, but it's still different. The game is a mix of Cricket 2004 and 2007 and it is so underrated. Everyone talks about 2007 and 2004, but this game was almost as good. Graphics wise, yeah, it's not great looking, but it's still a fun game to play, no doubt. In some areas, even better than those two. EA Cricket 2007 is the most popular cricket game ever. It was also the first game with a quality game mode. The Ashes mode here is as good as anything in any sports game. It was also the first game wherein bowling was enjoyable. I think all of us have spent a good amount of time trying out all the different variations. Legendary bowlers like McGrath and Lee had like 15 variations. It is crazy. Batting and bowling were fun. The game looked good. It had a great game mode. It was the first cricket game since Lara 99 that was as good as other sports games of that period. Brian Lara International Cricket 2007 is a game everyone knows about but no one has played. It was revolutionary. Almost all modern games were inspired by this because before this, there was very little freedom with batting. All you had was the same 8 shots that go to the same 8 corners. It was so frustrating because placement is like the second most important thing in batting and that aspect was completely absent in games before this. But the game is a little messy, a little broken. Ashes 2009 does what Brian Lara Cricket does, but it isn't messy at all. Ashes Cricket 2009. How on earth does this game look so good? It's like someone made this game in 2015 and sent it back to 2009. It's still one of the best looking cricket games and it's been 13 years since it came out. But don't for 1 second get distracted by its graphics. It's just as good when it comes to gameplay. For the first time, we could play almost all around the ground, about 320 degrees. Animations were just as beautiful as well. Pulls and drives especially are ridiculously well animated. There are 2 problems with the game. One, it's way too easy. And the other major problem is it doesn't have any game modes. The thing with easy games is that people lose interest very quickly. There were basically 0 game modes, but it had an entertaining tutorial section with the likes of Shane Warne commenting on your performance. Bowling was also a little stale. It was like Cricket 2004 almost, but overall a must play for any cricket fan. Cricket Revolution. My god, is this game underrated. It's crazy good and it came out in 2009. There are so many elements here that even now no game has. Aggressive and defensive batsmen have different strengths and weaknesses. Bowlers have a lot of fun variations, much like Cricket 2007, bouncers, slower balls that look like they take 3 days to reach the batsman. The game was brutally hard as well. Cricket Revolution made me realize how awesome cricket games could be if they are made by the right people. Just play the game once. Slog sweeps are almost as good looking as UVs. Pulls look like they were motion captured by Ponting. If you'd asked me in 2013 which cricket game has the best gameplay, I'd have said Cricket Revolution. Even now it's worth it. If you get the chance to play the game. Ashes Cricket 2013, by far the worst cricket game of all time. It isn't even a discussion. That's how bad this game is. It's a complete mess. It legit looks like an early 2000s game and that's me being generous. It actually looks like it was made for Android and was cancelled because it looked even for that. The game made no sense. AI was dumber than rocks. From fielders running away from the ball to staring at the opposite direction, there is no limit for the stupidity of AI in this game. It's not just the AI either. The ball is a mysterious figure. You never know what it's going to do. Balls will go out of the ground even when there is enough gap between bat and ball to build a highway, but it's still a must play because there is no movie, no stand-up as funny as Don Bradman Cricket 14 is what happens when passionate developers are given a chance. Big Ant Studios changed a lot of things, added a career mode and made a game that looked like a painting. Batting is realistic and fun, finding gaps on the leg side, playing the ball slightly away from the outfielder to get 2 runs, sweeping against spinners, lofted shots with the right amount of risk and reward. Of course, you could play all around the ground. Bowling on the other hand was slightly disappointing. It didn't have as much depth as batting. The career mode was as basic as any career mode ever, but hey, something is better than nothing and it was their first game, so whatever. Don Bradman 17 on the other hand is the worst game by Big Ant Studios. It somehow looks worse than 14, which is disappointing but whatever. But even gameplay was buggy as There were many basic problems. For example, shots along the ground are useless. No matter how well you time the ball, it will barely cross the 30-yard circle. So you have to play lofted shots all the time, even in test matches. Even if there's no fielder on the ground, the ball still has to go to the boundary, right? It's easier to run 4 runs than it is to hit a boundary along the ground. The career mode was basically the same. The bowling system was completely changed, which was much needed. So the only thing DBC 17 is better than DBC 14 is in the bowling department. Everything else I'd rather play Don Bradman 14. Ashes Cricket 2017. If realism is all that matters to you, this is the game for you. Playing a test match here is like watching a test match on TV. You have to be very defensive to survive. But let me tell you something, you won't be bored one bit when you're leaving and defending everything. Sound effects are crunchy and realistic, like ball hitting bat. It's little things like that that make this game such a great simulation. Bowling mechanics are better than any game, even better than Cricket 22, so it doesn't matter if you're playing 90 overs and scoring 200 runs or bowling an entire day and getting only a couple of wickets. You will be having the time of your life. Cricket 19 is a fan favorite. I know many of you totally love it. I think it's a good game, but it's not that good. This game should have come out in 2008. It would have been perfect. Very easy, bright and colorful, fast paced and fun. It's like Cricket 2007's younger brother. Once again, the career mode was the same. Gameplay was different but still fun. But this game is made for playing T20s just like Ashes 17 was made for playing test matches. Smacking sixes is where the game shines, especially if you're playing with someone else. This brings back 2000s nostalgia for me for whatever reason. ICC 21 is the only cricket game that I've played for 12 hours straight. If you love cricket tactics and strategy, be warned because you will get addicted to this game. You basically control everything, basic stuff like team selection, but also things like aggression levels, which batsmen should keep the strike. It's micromanaging heaven. There are 15 games in the series. If you want the latest game with modern players, get ICC 21 or get ICC 2006, which in my opinion is the best. But there's not a lot of difference between them, so it doesn't matter all that much. Cricket 22 is the most complete game. It has the brutal realism of Ashes 17 and the fun aspect of Cricket 19. Not only that, it's the best looking cricket game, it has the best career mode by a long shot, gameplay is near perfect, there are very few issues with the game, especially now a year later, all those annoying bugs are gone, AI is smarter than ever, AI bowlers will bowl wide Yorker if it's an offside heavy field, AI batsmen play all around the ground, every aspect of the game is made to keep your attention. The improvements to the career mode are much welcome, but there are still things that can be improved. When it comes to game modes, presentation and the career mode, especially, many things can be improved. But I seriously have zero problems with gameplay, at least as of now. Click the playlist on screen to see in-depth reviews of these games. Meanwhile, subscribe to the channel, it really means a lot. Thank you.